Passionate Living on WBBZ TV is sponsored by Dr. Todd Shatkin, Western New York's leader in general and cosmetic dentistry, located at the Aesthetic Associates Center, 2500 Kensington Avenue. Online at drtshatkin.com.
Hi, I'm Kat Miller. Welcome to this very special edition of Passionate Living. Today I'm at the Inn Buffalo off Elmwood on Lafayette Avenue in Buffalo, New York. And it is a perfect backdrop for today's show, where I get to choose some of my favorite segments from Season 2 to share with you. This historical treasure where I'm sitting is the perfect background for some of our stories today. One of the first segments I'm going to share is a very, very special woman. Her name is Beverly Johnson. She grew up in Western New York, moved to New York City, and became a top supermodel. She was the first African-American woman on the cover of American Vogue, and she has an amazing story to share with you today. Next, we're going to meet another very empowered woman whose love of carousels and the Herschell factory in her community, and she turned it into the Herschell Carousel Museum with a group of impassioned friends. But first, we're going to visit the historical St. Augustine, where I was driving through and happened to stop by for a cup of coffee when this amazing woman said, "Hey, would you like to join us for a chocolate tour?" And I mean, who would say no to that? So I got to go experience some wonderful foods in the city in the historical backdrop of St. Augustine. So get comfortable, sit back, and join us for a wonderful ride into Passionate Living.
Vanessa. I am tour guide with St. Augustine Experiences, and we're starting our Not Just a Chocolate Tour today. And it is not just a chocolate tour because we talk about the history of our magical city, and then we also experience the foods under four flags, right? Because this is St. Augustine.
St. Augustine is the oldest city in the United States, and what a great place to stop for a few hours in the afternoon to meet new friends and take a fabulous tour of the town and learn about the history, as well as eating macaroons and pralines and lots of wonderful chocolates.
This is the second oldest candy store in town. They obviously came from Savannah, where maybe you say pecan, maybe you say pecan. For them, it depends on which side of I-95 you live. I think it's pecan. The owner, I forget his name. What's the owner? Steven went away to college. I guess California, they say. His friend, they're surfers, so they would go down to Mexico and they saw the Mexican popsicles. And he said, "Why don't you open up a popsicle shop?" How many does he have now?
We have 6.
Yeah, so there you go. I do my grandkids' birthday parties here.
You're kidding. What is it? It's a pirate hostel?
It's a pirate-themed hostel. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And now, during COVID, though, they're all private rooms. They used to be dorms, all girls, all boys. But and they have a great international kitchen, international living room. So you meet all kinds of characters.
So you have the coolest place. It's called Ancient City. And how did this start?
So this was a combination of things. My sisters, who were in high school when they started the shop, had a school project where they were assigned to design a business. And my mother's a businesswoman at heart, so she heard about this project and she's like, "Okay, let's actually do this."
Oh my gosh, so you ended up starting a business as a result of a school project. And you were the businesswoman that said, "Let's make it a real project," right?
Yeah, they were 17. It's an entrepreneur class.
And so they had to do all the recipes, all the strategic plan. They had to negotiate the lease, negotiate with the distributors.
Wow.
This is my project and my passion and my next step of my chapter.
I love it. And I love how you're using your passion to make a difference in your community, to start this in the middle of a pandemic.
Yes, to be part of the solution. And, passion outweighs all opportunities in the dilemma, right?
Yes.
And so we could sit back or we can get engaged, and this was my time. And as you see, we're really having a good time.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Melissa. And it just goes to show that wherever we travel, wherever we go, we're all connected by this beautiful thread of goodness, and that you're always able to find people who've had the courage to live their passions and make a difference in their community around them. What a fun day it was to spend in St. Augustine, Florida. I want to introduce someone who is so special. I met you, a few years ago, I think in Santa Monica. And Beverly Johnson is as beautiful on the inside as she is on the outside. And I found that out the day that we met, and is originally from my hometown of Buffalo, New York. And I want to introduce Beverly to the show.
Hi. Hi, Thank you for having me. I am so thrilled to be talking to my homie, a Buffalonian, and is dear to my heart, and I can be more thrilled to do this show.
Now, what would you say to a young woman out there in the world who wants to get into fashion, and that's her passion? What would you tell her?
First, I would say, go for it. But I would tell her what I told my daughter. You can be anything you want after you graduate from college. Because the one thing I realized for my daughter, because I didn't grow up with famous parents, right? If you get your education, that's something no one will ever be able to take away from you. You did that. So she went on and she got her BA and her MBA, and then became one of the top 10 plus size models in the world, and taught me a whole new way of thinking about beauty. My daughter, I'm like, plus size, huh? And so she did what I did for women of color for plus size women in the industry, which was so necessary.
Is she still working in that realm, or?
Well, she has 4 children.
Oh yeah, no, she's
homeschool and whatever. She has an incredible following. We did a television show together on OWN, Beverly's Full House, which I was an executive producer. And now we're going to be doing a podcast together. So we do a lot of mother and daughter shows together. But I mentor a lot of young ladies that want to be models, and a number of them are in college, right? So I really believe that passion is important, but for me, I believe in opportunities and possibilities, because you really don't know at a young age that, that's my passion, you don't know what your passion is going to be.
It's so true. And that's why when you go to college, it's so important to take a lot of different classes, to diversify and not just focus on one topic, because I think that happens too early these days, where you're already supposed to know what you want to do the rest of your life when you go to college, and you've got no experience for that. You've never taken an astronomy course, you've never taken a science course, maybe you've never taken an art course, and you don't know what's truly going to light you up until you immerse yourself in that kind of an environment of education, and just try it.
Yes, when an opportunity comes up that's kind of out of what you were thinking and dreaming, say yes, let me go see.
Right.
You know what you're going to like. You never know what's around the corner for you.
Now, what are you doing now? What are you doing these days? You're out in Palm Springs, right?
I am doing so many things now. I wrote my memoir, The Face That Changed It All, that became a New York Times bestseller. It was bought by Warner Brothers, and we are going to be doing a mini series with that project. And so I'm doing a little executive producing. I did a show with OWN, Oprah Winfrey Network, Beverly's Full House. It was a very interesting show about mother and daughter relationships. So I'm possibly doing other things, and maybe Beverly's Fuller House, because I have 4 girls. And I have lots of projects, other people's projects that I'm executive producing. And besides that, I'm still in the fashion world in the way of representing Retrove skincare. I am a partner in Thesis Couture, where we actually redesign and redevelop the stiletto with SpaceX engineers who redesigned it.
Wow.
So now we can walk around and not worry about hurting feet.
Mm-hmm.
And now I have this interesting Holstein water, which is from Austria, and it's the only water that has never been, it goes right from the source into the bottle. And I'm a big water person.
Right.
Imagine, because hydration, and also in the way of just keeping your appetite under control.
Right.
I do through water. Back in the day, we thought water was fattening, okay? We ate nothing. I don't even know how I'm still walking around. We ate nothing, like maybe a boiled egg and a bowl of rice a week. So anyway, so I thought it was interesting, and a luxury, maybe home decor brand going. So I'm just very excited. And, I have a fiance, a financier fiance, which is very exciting to be.
Met him. He's very nice.
He's very nice. He's so smart. He's so kind. And what he was doing in the world of finance on Wall Street, breaking barriers, I was 10 blocks away doing that in modeling.
Isn't that funny? Gay Hendricks, a relationship guru, he's written a ton of books. I don't know if you know Gay, but he was telling me one time that most times they found when someone meets their partner or their soulmate, their husband or wife, that they ended up being in the same area or the same room together several times before they ever met. That they end up kind of cycling together, being around each other without having met each other prior. Isn't that interesting? You and Brian were 10 blocks away.
10 blocks away from me. And he was married to a model who I knew.
Wow.
And it wasn't only until I came out west, and his best friend was a mutual friend of mine, and we played golf together. But he's in Wall Street. I mean, he's a nerd, and I understand nerds, but I wasn't.
It's great.
He's really smart, financier, kind of hedge fund guys, and it's a lot of fun. Yes, it is.
I love that. Well, I can see that retirement has definitely slowed you down. You're right. You're going full bore yet. That's amazing.
Yes, I came out here for golf, and I was playing a lot of golf when I met Brian. He said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, I'm just taking it easy." He says, "For what?" He says, "I sell brain power." He says, "You're going to sell brain power now." And so, and I'm just really loving it and learning new things and just discovering more things about myself, enjoying my grandchildren. Oh my gosh, my grandchildren are just a blessing. From 2 years old to 9 years old. And I'm really happy.
Well, you look as beautiful now as you ever have. It's unbelievable. What is your secret to youth? Because your skin, you've always, every time I've seen you, just stunning.
So much. But I must say, because I'm in the industry, right? So I'm in the fashion industry, so I'm around it, and I love it. Right. So I have access, or I make myself access to the most important cutting edge skincare line. I have a dermatologist out here, Dr. Wendy Roberts, who's the youth booster, right?
Right.
And Really, and there's so much you can do now through, eating, exercise, and all topical, creams and salve and meditation. And so I basically just keep myself curious as to how can I be the best I can be internally and externally.
For somebody who wants to stay youthful, what are your 3 top things you would tell them to do?
It's never too late. It's a mindset. It's all in the mind, right?
Right.
Because you have to remind yourself, don't you have to remind yourself sometimes, I'm X amount of age, I shouldn't be, riding that motorbike. Yeah. You have to remind yourself because you're who you are, right?
Right.
Always. So it's a mindset. It's never too late. And anything that you pay attention to, and as women, we're nurturers anyways.
Right.
You just have to turn it around and do a little self-care and self-love.
Oh, well, Beverly, thank you so much again. I really, really appreciate you being on the show today. It's been wonderful to have you, and I'm so grateful that you shared your beautiful life with the rest of us, that we could see what you're doing now in the world.
Yes, I really appreciate it. What a great Sunday.
Oh, what a great Sunday. Thank you. What a gift. It's been so beautiful.
Thank you so much. I'll see you soon.
I'll see you soon. Take care, Beverly.
Hi, Kat. How are you? Welcome.
Thank you.
To the Herschell Carousel Factory Museum.
I'm so excited to be here today. This
And
is
I'm
going to
happy
be
that
so
you're
wonderful.
Here too. Thank you.
I can't wait to see it.
Okay, let's go in.
All right.
I'll give you a short tour.
Thank you. Okay.
So this room originally was the carpenter shop in this area.
Okay.
And then the carving, all the rest of the space.
Wow.
So we've set up just a small area for carving.
Okay. Oh, and this is where they carved the horses.
All
then.
the horses were carved in here.
Now, how many people would have been working in this department back at the time?
No, we don't have a number. We've looked at the pictures and kind of counted people. I'm thinking 20 or 30. This room, it would leave to go into, it would have to be all sanded, smooth, and then it would go into the next room for painting.
Okay.
But before we go there, I want to show you what's over here.
Oh, great.
Okay.
Thanks.
The magical sound of a carousel.
Oh, yes.
Something called a band organ.
Okay.
It's a band in a wooden box. It has
Right.
pipes and flutes and drums and cymbals, and it plays marches and all kinds of different music if it has the paper roll in it. It's very similar to the roll of a player piano. There's a hole in the master.
Right.
The punch will punch down through onto the white paper.
Right.
So when we talk with children, we talk about computers today. They work on the same binary system. So there's not a whole lot new in the world, is there?
That's amazing, isn't it? You think everything has changed so much, but really.
The basic concepts have been there a long time.
How long did it take you to find all of these, the original materials that would have been used in the early days?
Generally, we've been working for almost 40 years.
Wow.
So a lot of it has been here for a while.
How did you end up doing this? How did you get involved in this?
Two reasons. One is I grew up just behind the building. My sister and I used to look through holes in the fence and watch them paint the horses. But then also I was teaching 5th and 6th grade in the city and soon realized that the children I was teaching knew nothing about their city.
Right.
Had nothing to be proud of, or they didn't think they did when I would ask.
Right.
So when this opportunity came around, I thought that's something that children could become interested in learning more about their city, and that's
And
he
have
did
some
that.
civic pride in where they were growing up.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. And how exciting for children, too, because it's a carousel. And
It's a carousel.
yeah.
Alan Herschell was a Scottish immigrant,
Okay.
and in Scotland, his family had a foundry. He was a pattern maker for the foundry.
Right.
So when he came to the United States, he started a foundry here in North Tonawanda
Okay.
with his partner James Armitage. And then Herschel traveled to New York City in the 1880s, early 1880s, and saw a very, very early carousel, one of the first. He was really enthralled by this idea.
Right.
There were no other rides.
It must have lit up a passion in him, because
It
for him to
did.
come back and start this company.
Well, it took him a little
Yeah.
while to convince his partner that they were going to make these newfangled machines.
Right.
So these are some of the earliest horses.
They look much more simple than
Very
the
simple.
very elaborate
And you
carved
notice
ones at
no
Herschel.
hole. They didn't go up
Yeah.
and down. They were on like a spring mechanism. Because they didn't test with sandbags. They tested with neighborhood children.
I love
They
that.
would open the double doors, put the band organ in the doorway, which is usually loud.
Yes.
And all the neighborhood children knew they could come and ride. That's
That's
what they did.
beautiful. Now, this is your little boy,
My little boy. Oh, great.
Gregory. Hi, buddy. How you doing? Gonna mount my horse?
Yeah, he looks good for you.
All right. Now, is my horse gonna beat his? Because,
He's gonna beat him by a nose.
oh, I like it. Oh, here we go. Oh, this is so exciting. What is his name?
King Billy.
King Billy. Oh, King Billy, I love him. He's great. Well, your mom's passion for this has made a difference in her entire community.
Yeah, I'm really proud of her. I'm really glad for the inspiration and the example that I got from her without even knowing I was getting it.
Right.
She started when I was about 7 years old. What I basically learned from these people was a team of normal people can do something, can imagine something unusual and make something that's really unlikely actually happen. This building was in bad shape, it was leaking, it was falling down, it was full of electrical supplies and leaking transformers with PCPs, and it hadn't been anything in decades. And people would say, "You're crazy, you should just tear that building down, it's gonna burn down anyway." And she was like, "No, we're gonna make a museum."
Around 1905, the company went bankrupt. And Herschel reformed the company, this time with his brother-in-law, Ed Spillman.
Okay.
It became the Herschel Spillman Company. Armitage retired. Herschel Spillman continued to make some of the steam riding galleries, but then they started making bigger machines. They created the overhead cam that made the horses go up and down. So Herschel Spillman continued for a while.
Right.
And then Spillman, who was a true engineer, wanted to make automobiles and automobile engines. Herschel didn't want to do that, quit, went home.
Wow.
And Spillman continued as Spillman Engineering Corporation.
Okay.
And then 2 years later, Herschel decided he'd come back and compete with his brother-in-law.
Of course he
That's
did.
when he bought this building, late 1915, and created just the Ellen Herschel Company,
Okay.
which is what this building is.
All right.
These animals were simpler. The legs are tucked in, the head's tucked in, the ears are tucked back.
Right.
His idea was they would be more portable. So I like to think of the carousels that came out of this building as like every person's carousel.
Right.
You didn't have to drive or travel to the big city. So this is our Kittyland testing.
Wow. Oh my gosh. I feel like I just fell into a camera and woke up in heaven here.
So we have the wet boat ride,
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
cars, and fire trucks.
Right? Oh my gosh, this is taking me back to childhood.
Would you
Wow.
like a helicopter ride?
Oh my gosh, I'd love a helicopter ride. Everyone's ready?
Okay.
Oh my God, this is so exciting. I'm in a helicopter. Hi, Mom. Wow. Oh, here I go. I can pull the bar and I'm going up. Oh my gosh. Woohoo! So you have a picnic pavilion back there that somebody
Yes.
can run out to do a birthday party?
It's in Kittyland. Yes.
Wow, that's
So they can
wonderful.
have a party either inside in the children's gallery
Right.
or outdoors here in Kittyland. So I felt really good when I had several people come back and say that they were so happy that they knew something about their city.
Right.
In fact, I had one young servicewoman who came back and said, we were sitting around talking about what was in our cities back home. And I was so happy to be able to have something to talk about.
Right.
So it made me feel good.
That's beautiful. And it's a beautiful testament of how you used your passion for this project to make a difference in your community.
Hopefully,
Because you
yeah.
have forever changed your community by helping to create this amazing
I hope
testament to Herschell
That's-
carousels.
That's very nice.
So Ray, if anybody wanted to help contribute to this amazing project, and I know that the lumber prices went way up and you had your funds to do the one outdoor area,
Right.
How can they do that?
The very easiest way is to just go on our website,
Mm-hmm.
which is carouselmuseum.org with 2 R's in carousel.
Okay.
CARROUSEL. Carouselmuseum.org. There's a donate button. All you have to do is push it.
Beautiful.
Or you can just send a check. You know, our address is on our website,
Great.
so it's easy to find.
Wonderful. And how much more are you looking to raise?
Would you believe I need another 150,000?
Wow.
I had found over 400,000.
Right.
And that's what's happened to the price of lumber. And it's an all-wooden building. If you notice, these buildings are all wooden, with shiplap siding on the
Yeah.
outside and tongue and groove walls on the inside.
Wow.
So it's double walls of wood,
Yeah.
and
So
it's crazy.
yeah, prices did shoot up so much during the pandemic.
Astronomically.
Yeah.
So I'll keep looking.
Thank you.
It took
Thank
me
you.
Time to find the first 400. I'll just keep going.
You
and
keep
we'll-
going.
we'll
I
find
get
it.
the feeling that how many years have you been doing this?
41 years.
41 years.
Can you believe it?
That's amazing. Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You are amazing.
welcome.
I love you.
It's good to be with you.
It's
Thank
so
you.
great to be with you. Thank you. Thank you for joining us on this week's episode of Passionate Living. I want to thank our generous sponsors, Dr. Todd Shatkin and Associates. Their generous support makes this show possible. Make sure to join us each week on Tuesday and Thursday evenings at 8 p.m. and Sundays at 11 a.m. Also, you can go to passionateliving.com to see past shows, as well as our YouTube channel, passionateliving.tv. Most importantly, thanks to you, our extraordinary viewer. This show is a labor of love for everybody who helps to produce it each week, and I am so honored to share this adventure with you. And remember, until next week, there's no one in this world like you. Your smile, your personality, your brightness for all things that inspire you is so unique. Let your light shine as brightly as you can, as the world definitely needs you now more than ever. I'm sending a big hug to each and every one of you watching this evening, and I look forward to seeing you on our next episode of Passionate Living.